listening to the Betmaker Show. This is the PGA Genesis Cup preview for Monday, February 10th, 2020. And now, live from Las Vegas, the host of the Betmaker Show, Brian Blessing.
All right, folks, here we go. The California circuit continues. Nick Taylor romps at the AT&T Pebble Beach deal. Brian Blessing, Cam Stewart. We're both in Vegas. Got to be impressed, Cam. The Canadian come through, bud. Big time.
Yeah. Nick Taylor, University of Washington. It's funny. I actually got a text, Brian, from a listener of the program, producer Michael Be Happy. A lot of people tuning in for the golf and the picks, and I won $3,800 with Nick Taylor. So congratulations, Mike Hollingdale. Great score by you, Brian. Listens to the show and knows us from the old days too, and had a big hit. The Canadian winning lots of loonies, 3,800 loonies on Nick Taylor. He's been close before. The thing about Nick Taylor is we've taken him, Brian, and on Sunday, I kind of question this guy holding on to leads. You know, he's usually a guy that can kind of fire back like Kevin Streelman and get like a T3, or Streelman in this case finished second this week. But congrats to Nick Taylor. He's got a good game. Tee to green, he's fantastic. And once he got that putter going, it was amazing actually how him, Streelman, and Phil separated themselves from the rest of the field.
Yeah, and Phil was right there. What honestly, ultra impressive for Nick Taylor. What did he have? Did he have a 2-shot lead at the start of the day? Does that sound right?
3, I think it might have been 3 because Jason Day was lingering. What did he? That's the thing. You don't expect a guy who's probably 80 to 100 to 1 in that type of range to, hold on Sunday, but he looked really good.
No, that's what I was going to say was that if you looked at it, and I almost did it, and I said, in a head-to-head matchup, Mickelson was only $1.35, and you're like, boy. Yep. He knows the course. The fans are going to be behind him. Taylor overcame everything and did it. Good for him.
It's a sucker bet, too. When you see those lines, too, Brian, it's almost like what I've learned about Phil can put a couple good rounds together, but to ask Phil Mickelson to put 4 good rounds together is a lot to ask. And you know that, right? Like on Sunday, you expect these other guys to come back, and it's crazy. Guys like Paul Casey are like 6 over, and I'm looking at Nick Taylor going, wow, he handled it well, but kudos to him. And hey, we had a pretty good pick with Daniel Berger. He actually showed up on Sunday. If he could have done that every day of the tournament, what was he, T5, T6? Like he got a top 10 for us, but Homa, just outside the top 10. But I got to be honest, Brian, we've been on the winner or the second place guy every week. We didn't have the horses this week, but hopefully at the Genesis we'll get one for you because we've been really hot until last week.
All right, well, let's go to L.A. right out of the gate. And I'll tell you this, McIlroy a little over 7 to 1, Thomas at 9 to 1 with John Rahm, Dustin Johnson's 14 to 1. He is just he's there, but there's something off the putter more than anything. Can't do it for a while. But I'm telling you right now, Tiger at 18 to 1, I'm in a little bit.
I'm into the thing is, he's going to get that win to pass Sam Snead very, very soon, Bry, as you know that too. And there's a couple of guys in the 22
to range. It's a Hollywood script, Cam.
Yeah, exactly. You're in Hollywood, Riviera, Tiger. It all writes itself. The Oscars were last night. I didn't watch 1 minute because I really don't care. I got money on other things. But when's the last time you went to see a South Korean movie? You'd have been all over it. Buddy, I'm staying at a movie theater in Vegas right now. We haven't even gone yet, and I've been here for almost 10 days. So I don't think I'm going to be going to the movies anytime soon. But Tiger at 18 to 1 is a really nice price, Brian. Hopefully he can pull it together. Another guy at 22 to 1. See, the odds makers, this is the problem. Me and you know who we like to take, but we were hoping for 30. Bubba Watson. You said you were all over Bubba. He has a great track record here at 22 to 1, but yeah, these guys are smart. They understand that too, Brian. We're not going to get the 33s like in the Adam Scott range.
Well, I'll give you an overlay. We've seen him a lot less in other places. When I think Riviera, Bubba comes to mind. Charles Howell always plays well here. He's 80 to 1.
Yeah, no, you're right about Charles Howell, Brian. Him and Charles Schwartzel in a corn eating contest would be something that we'd like to pay money to see with those sharp choppers. But 80 to 1 is a great price. Brendan Grace at 80 to 1 looks good to me. Like, how do I stay away from Max Homa, Brian? He's had a 3rd and an 11th. Basically, like, this guy is like knocking on the door. He's 90 to 1 in this tournament. And I got to tell you something. I'm starting to like what I see here. The kid, Colin Morikawa, I took him every week. Was he getting tired? Yes. He was playing every week. He played in the silly season. We were getting him at 22-1. Now I'm seeing him in the Sanjay Im range at 50-1. Colin Morikawa will make my ticket. Still California kid. I like that price at 50. I don't have to get 22 or 25. I'm getting double the value on a guy that will win soon.
Number 25 in the world, Cam, is 60-1. I think Matthew Fitzpatrick is ready to take a leap up.
I agree with you. I might have to do a six-pack for this tournament because there's a lot of guys that I like. Matthew Fitzpatrick did catch my eye. I will say this, Brian, very disappointing last week. I expected Fitzpatrick with his track record, at Pebble Beach. I thought that was a course that would play to his eye. He was a little bit disappointing. Paul Casey was horrible on Sunday. Can you on another bad beat? You talk about it. I had this guy in a matchup bet. The guy was 7 over on Sunday. Like, screw you. Like, I'm done with this guy. Like, he's another clown. Like, I've had at the Masters and he's pissed away leads. Like, there's certain guys that just rip your heart out, and you could put Paul Casey on that card for me. I want to cheer for the guy. Watch him win this week at 55-1 anyway. I don't know what happened to him on Sunday. He totally imploded. But out of the Brits, I agree with you. Like, Rory McIlroy is plus 750, the favorite in this tournament, and you're getting a guy who is slightly, and I mean slightly, like Matthew Fitzpatrick's close. We watched the European Tour. You're getting him at 60-1. I get it. Rory McIlroy, his driver, it's the best out of anybody on tour, but that is a really nice price on the kid, Matthew Fitzpatrick. I agree.
For outstanding information and special offerings and promotions, we invite you and encourage you to sign up for our newsletter today simply by going to the website at betmaker.com. All right, couple things here. Current form, J.B. Holmes has played well here before. He plays well in California. He's 70-1. But I'm telling you, Cam, golf is, to me, if other than like the Rorys and the Justin Thomases and the John Rahms of the world and guys that compete every week, golf is a 3 to 5 week form cycle thing.
I agree.
Okay. Now, you could say letdown, but Nick Taylor went wire to wire on 3 different courses and gutted a win out. He's playing with house money, 100-1 on Nick Taylor to come right back. I mean, the letdown is probably more likely.
Brian, I'll tell you one thing, and it's funny. Look at the odds, and look who he's right beside. Brendan Todd. Was he not a guy that went back-to-back and then second? He almost won 3 weeks in a row. So all the people that say, hey, a golfer
Canada
in a row. Yeah, Canada's right, Brian. You used to live close to the border. Go see your old pals at Fort Erie. I'll tell you something. I will put a couple shekels on Nick Taylor, and I got one for you again. Our old friend is back in my portfolio. Another top 10, Lanto Griffin is going to be my bomb at 150-1. He played good this week, Brian, a top 10, and you're giving me a guy in his current form at 150-1. Sign me up.
Yeah. I mean, now I will say this. I don't know what they were thinking for the longest time. Now we're back in the range where I'd consider it. I mean, the prices they were giving you on Sanjay M were garbage can.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now he's 50-1.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair.
Now I'm going to start. We're going to start dancing. I don't know if you like Adam Scott, my buddy who had.
I thought about it.
I'll tell you something. This guy's like a golfing savant, Brian. He's very good too. And he told me after the Nick Taylor when he's going with Adam Scott, I'm probably going to ride a few shekels just with him because the guy's hot. He hit Nick Taylor, and I got to respect that. So I would start. Justin Thomas, John Rahm, all those guys, I would start, if you guys are gambling, and Brian talked about it, reloading on the weekend, I would start with Adam Scott in the 33-1 range, and you're right. Now we don't have to get Sanjay M at 22-1, 25, or 28. We get him at 50, and that's the way I feel about Colin Morikawa. So I will probably go Scott, M, Morikawa, and then a couple bombs. Now I'll throw your Fitzpatrick in there and a little Nick Taylor and Lanto Griffin sprinkled in. I might do a true 6-pack this week, see how things go, and maybe we can reload.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, we're all over the map. I think there's a lot of guys this week. Yeah, I think I'm with you.
This week, I'm looking at the names, and a lot are popping out. It's a really nice field, and we're getting great. The thing about this week is why we're not betting 3 or 4. I look at the numbers and I see true value, like guys who were 50 or 90, guys that were 60 or 100. So with Tiger Woods, back in the mix, you get really nice numbers.
I got one more for you, and now we got to whittle it down.
Okay.
But I got one more for you. In horse racing, right?
Yep.
They go over, they'll send a horse over, great horse. They'll send him over to Meydan Race Course over in Dubai, racing the $6 million race. About 5-6 horses go over there for the undercard, and they're great horses. They come back to North America, and they're garbage. I mean, the travel just kills them. The first race back, throw them out. Now watch this roundabout.
I know who you're going with. Can I guess?
Say it.
Alex Noren.
Nope. But same premise.
Yep.
Bryson DeChambeau's 50-1. He went over and he did the 2 Dubai tournaments, and then he came back to the Waste Management deal in Phoenix, finished 52nd, took last week off.
You know what, Brian? I'm reading your mail. That is a great price for this guy.
I bet you, he comes back. He was a throwaway, first back from the travel. Now he doesn't play last week, works on his game a little bit. DeChambeau should be 30. He should not be 50.
No, he shouldn't be. I love that price. Like, I'm going to tell you, you're right. Like, I might just throw out these favorites. I could tell you one thing just by our conversation. The top 10s and top 20s this week with the odds that you're getting. Like, look at these guys. Taylor 100-1, Holman 90-1. Like, these are good guys. Lanto Griffin 150-1. Brian, like, you're getting Bryson DeChambeau at 50-1. He's not my favorite guy on tour, but at that price, I'm definitely going to take a big shot. And you said it. Like, he can play with anybody in the world. Like, don't be surprised if you look up on Sunday and he's right at the top of the leaderboard, and that's a beautiful price.
All right, I'm going to go a 4-pack.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing for the picket fence with Charles Howell at 80-1. Nick Taylor, I think you're nuts not to come back with him at 100-1. It's a coin flip between Sung Jae Im and Matthew Fitzpatrick. I'm going to go with Fitzpatrick at 60. And the chalk I'm playing is 50-1. I'm going to go with DeChambeau. I'm going to start with those 4 because the thing is that you could get, John Rahm could be 5 back on Friday night, and you'll get 16-1 on him when he's 9-1 to start the tournament. So to me, it's always take the flyers early and then get a quality guy that's 4 or 5 back at an overlaid price from where they started in the tournament. It's always been my strategy. It does work. That's how I'm going to do it.
It's a good strategy. I'm going to add a couple more, Brian, because you know me, I really love to sprinkle, and things have been pretty good at the tables this week. So I'm going to start things off with DeChambeau. You sold me at that price. 50-1 looks good. I got to go with my boy Morikawa at 50. I think the layoff, like DeChambeau, will help him. Fitzpatrick at 60, Noren at 90, and 2 bombs for you. Canadian, no do to boot it, going back-to-back with Nick Taylor at 100, and our friend Lanto Griffin at 150-1.
All right. Hooray for Hollywood. All right. So we're swinging for the fences.
We are.
But I'll tell you what, though, home stretch now, right? I mean, we're close to the Florida swing, and that means the big boy.
I love the
big
Florida
boy
swing.
tournaments.
I agree, and we'll talk about the Florida swing. The Florida swing, you got to have a lot of patience. Like Copperhead, the Snake Pit, like these courses will eat you up. So, I'm a big fan of the Florida swing. So let's make some money, Brian. Take it into Florida and get it done.
Betmaker, let's make some money tonight.
Well, that's the Betmaker Show for now. We publish multiple times each week. We'd like to thank you for listening, and if you liked what you heard, please take a moment to leave a rating and review, or subscribe to our show feed, or share our show with a friend or two and help us grow the show. We very much appreciate it. Visit us on the web at betmaker.com. And reminder to sign up for the newsletter. Thanks to our engineer, Darren Vandermolen, and producer, Mike Gallivan. The Betmaker Show is a production of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated. Betmaker is a registered trademark. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this content without the express written consent of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At Betmaker.com and the Betmaker Show, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling. An approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.